me home to my fraternity. To Chuck White, who would send me a letter every year asking me for $25, and kept sending me the same letter until I realized that if I sent him $25, he'd stop until the next year. Bottom of every letter, he'd always say, "You ought to come to Conclave." To Tommy Alves, who just happened to mention one night at a party that he had been a SIGEP RD, and said, "You ought to come to Conclave." But most of all to Mike Williams, who just happened to say that he was a SIGEP and that I ought to come to Conclave. For years I would joke that I had met Mike on a nude beach in St. Bart's. I would joke that Mike stood up and introduced himself as the Grand President. And all I could think was how little it took to be Grand President. I've always felt bad about telling that story. But it's true. Over the past 2 years, I've been honored and humbled by the letters that I received. Countless notes from kids who have been on the quest to Greece. Kids who received a scholarship that kept them in school, bought their books, or sent them to Russia. A thank you note from the widow of our fallen brother, Sergeant Izzy O'Brien. A letter of concern from parents of a young man who was being hazed. Or a dad who had lost his job, didn't want his son to know that he could no longer afford to pay his son's chapter bill. Many of these letters have rested heavy on my heart. I've kept them all. They help remind me that SIGEP always has and always should be a safe haven, a welcoming home, a place that offers hope and help and heart. Sometimes that burden has been heavy. So sometimes I turn to my favorite letter that I always keep at the top of the stack. Here's what it says. Dear Grand President Kief, my husband has been a SIGEP for many, many, many years. We now travel quite often. And because my husband snores, we will often sleep in separate beds. Several months ago, we were on vacation. And because his snoring was so loud, I woke up and told him to sleep in the bathroom. Though I was still asleep, I watched as he got up and dragged his mattress into the other room. The next morning, I walked into the bathroom and found him asleep, naked, on top of the mattress that he had placed in the bathtub. And since the bathroom was now very cold, magazines to cover himself and to keep himself warm. Porn magazines about a foot fetish. I never knew such magazines existed. He says he found them under the hotel mattress when he was moving the bed. I just don't know. Can you help me? Do all SIGEPs snore? Do all SIGEPs travel with porn magazines? Do all SIGEPs have big feet? And P.S., what shoe size do you wear? Sincerely, Lily Travers. Dan, it's great to be a CEO.
Yeah!
Thank you, my brothers. Thank you for a great 2 years. Thanks for giving me a great life. Thank you so much.